Mountain biking is back on the Commonwealth Games menu after being omitted 4 years ago, and the event attracted hordes of curious spectators to the Cathkinbraes Country Park. Our commentators are Wayne Boyce and Rochelle Gilmore.
This is what will face the riders. We had a walk around the course yesterday, a couple to look out for. A double dare where the riders will snake down the course. There's berms where they can keep the speed up. And there's plenty of choices to make on this course as well. A few sections where there are double and triple choices for the riders. Queen Mary's Drop is where it all starts to get very interesting. The riders have 3 choices there. The inside line is a cobbled drop down, and that is one of the parts of the course that is absolutely key that it remains dry for. The mountain biking is seconds away from returning to the Commonwealth Games, and we are underway. And Rochelle, the start here will be absolutely key from those riders on the front line to gain position and try and pull away from the rest of the pack.
We see they've only just started the first lap, and you already see some breaks in the bunch there. So there's 5 riders and the other English rider now closing up.
Ben Allen just taking it through the tunnel. Already, Catherine Pendrell is miles clear of the opposition so far. It really has been a fantastic start from the Canadian. Oh, and she almost endoed there over the rock section. This is Broken Biscuits. Just a look behind there from Pendrell, just to physically see what the gap is between herself and the chasing pack. And the gap between second and third, Rochelle, seems to have closed significantly.
Well, we see here Rebecca Henderson and Emily Batty just riding along together.
Yeah, the Canadian has taken Annie Lass, the English rider. Of course, the Canadians perhaps eyeing up a 1-2 here. So the battle for second and third. Henderson has slipped down into third place. It is Emily Batty who just leads the way. This is interesting, Rochelle. Both the riders taking the different lines down.
Well, we'll now see which one is in fact faster. Be interesting to know which rider actually wants to be in front, because of course there is also an advantage to be behind. They both look like they're pretty in control of this.
We could have a mighty race for the silver and bronze medals. At the last break, of course, it was 19 seconds the lead. That may well have increased around about 30 as she makes her way down Braveheart, another of the sections that was named by the locals. There you can see 49 seconds now, the gap that Pendrell is enjoying from her teammate Batty, who is just 1 second ahead of Henderson.
Slipped off one of those rocks. We did say that there was a few drops of rain out there. If there's been a little bit of a spit of rain, those large rocks get quite slippery.
Pendrell's leads 1 minute and 52. It is increasing with every lap for Catherine Pendrell. This is the English rider in 4th place, Alice Barnes, who, remember, started in the 3rd line. She's done terrifically well to get herself up through the pack. This is going to be some last lap between Emily Batty and Rebecca Henderson. Canada versus Australia for the silver medal. Pendrell, we can presume, has got gold, barring now a monumental disaster.
Oh, here's a problem with the leader.
Goodness me, Pendrell just checking. I wonder if she thought she had a flat then for a second.
look at this, I think Beck Henderson's hit the wall, as we say in cycling, or blown up, because you see the difference in the speed there. Emily Batty, she's taking the outside of the three options, which is the longer but the safer one. I think that might be all over for Beck Henderson. She really looked like she just hit the wall because the pace was so different between the Canadian and the Australian.
Here is Pendrail coming through. She has the Canadian flag in her hand. She is about to become the Commonwealth Games champion, following in the footsteps of Chrissy Reddin and Marie-Hélène Prémont, the two Canadian riders who have taken gold in the women's cross-country Commonwealth Games previously. Of course, no champion 4 years ago. So Catherine Pendrail will become the first mountain biking gold medalist for 8 years, and she makes it 3 successive gold medals for Canada in women's cross-country mountain biking. A magnificent performance from the experienced Catherine Pendrail, who takes the gold medal for Canada. Pendrail wins it. Batty comes in a minute 10 behind. It is gold and silver for Canada. The dominant nation in women's cross-country mountain biking are at it again, and after a tough battle with Batty for silver, Henderson, as you can see, absolutely delighted with third place. And there we are then, Catherine Pendrail with the gold medal, finishing a minute and 10 seconds ahead of her teammate Emily Batty of Canada.
Day 6 of Glasgow 2014 saw the final day of competitive action at the Tollcross National Swimming Centre. It all began with the qualifying for the women's 400 metres. Heat 2 pitched together Glasgow gold medalists Jazz Carlin from Wales and Scotland's Hannah Miley, but both would face tough competition from Canada's former junior world champion Brittany McLean. Your commentators are Mike McCann and Alison Shepherd.
Miley's in front, the crowd getting involved now. McLean, the Canadian, lane 3, her main rival, although Carlin is within striking distance. Ashwood and Wilmot following. 5/100ths of a second separating. Second, lane 2 and lane 3. Heat 2 of the women's 400 freestyle. And now McLean comes up to challenge Miley. 25 to swim. Don't discount Carlin, but it's the Canadian who's taken over from the Scot. McLean just marginally in front. Miley, and then it's back to Carlin. That's the way they finish it. McLean takes it out. Miley second, Carlin third. 4:08.84 for McLean, 4:09.30 Miley, Carlin 4:09.76.
Another fantastic race to start off the heats.
Heat 3 was likely to be a battle between the Southern Hemisphere nations, with New Zealand's Lauren Boyle and Australian duo of Bronte Barrett and Remy Fairweather all targeting medals.
The further the race goes, the stronger Lauren Boyle looks. She leads it with just over 50 metres to swim now. Boyle in front, Fairweather kicking again, and Barrett is back there in third placing. So Boyle leading by half a second over Fairweather. 0.71 behind Boyle is Barrett through the 350. This trio will fight it out. Also across in lane 1, Cheverton of Canada. She's not too far back alongside her Faulkner, but it's between this trio and it's the New Zealander, Lauren Boyle. Fairweather is swimming a very good race. She's challenging Boyle and Fairweather. Boyle will just hold on and beat Fairweather. Third taken by Barrett. And then it was Cheverton in front of Faulkner. And then Jones, McClatchy and Bowman. 4:07.06, the quickest of the heats. Boyle, lane 4 for the final. Fairweather will have 5. Barrett 3 and McLean will be in 6. Miley will have another final here, lane 2. Carlin in 7, Cheverton 1 and Faulkner lane 8.
In the men's 200-metre individual medley, Heat 2 pitched together gold medalist in the 400-metre event Daniel Wallace from Scotland, alongside the defending champion Chad Leclos from South Africa.
Look at this medley specialist Dan Wallace go. He's out by almost a full body length now over Leclos of South Africa in lane 4. Back in third place, it'll be Mohammed of Wales. Almost 2 seconds between the lead two.
Yeah, Dan Wallace did exactly the same thing in his 400 IM. He was down about 5th or 6th at the halfway mark in his 400 and really had the back end speed in his 400 medleys, and that's exactly where his strengths are lying this morning as well, breaststroke and freestyle.
Wallace in total control here. He wins it by 1.5 lengths from Leclos. Good swim by Mohammed of Wales. He wasn't too far behind Leclos. And Wallace, 1:59.36. Leclos, 2:00.78. Mohammed, a very good swim by him in Coleman, Bensodon and Axiotis. Great race.
In Heat 4, the young Australian Daniel Tranter was one to watch, while Sebastian Rousseau was aiming to book his place in his 4th final of the Games.
Because they bring it home now in the freestyle, and this is a strong second half by Tranter, who wasn't in the top 3 until that last turn. And Tranter in front. Now going with him, Pavoni in lane 5, and Roebuck is not done for yet, Rousseau, but it's going to be Tranter of Australia, then Rousseau, and then Pavoni. Roebuck 4th, 1:59.05, the time for Daniel Tranter. Tranter the fastest qualifier for the final. Wallace the second fastest, the Scot. And then Rousseau of South Africa, Pavoni, Roebuck, Lloyd, Leclos will have lane 1, and Fraser Holmes sneaking in lane 8.
In the women's 4x100 metres, unsurprisingly, Australia were the favourites in Heat 2. England and Scotland were both aiming to mount a challenge.
We're into the freestyle leg, at least the Australians are. Bronte Campbell is in the water for England. It's Amy Smith. The Scots have Rachel Masson, Wales, Hannah McCarthy and Jocelyn Flynn of Papua New Guinea. The Australians out by around 5 metres on England. And then it's back to Wales, would have taken over third, running again in front of Scotland. And Papua New Guinea in 5th place. Just on 50 to go for our race leaders, the Australians. And Bronte Campbell, who's really enjoying herself. She broke 53 seconds for the first time in taking the silver medal in the 100 free. She is an exceptional swimmer, and she's going to give the Australians a very comfortable heat win here. The time's going to be interesting. The Games record 3:56.3. Well, they're over that, but the record may well fall tonight. Australia take out Heat 2. England second. The fight for third. Scotland in front of Wales just. Wales fourth. And Papua New Guinea have about 50 to swim. They will finish 5th. Making it through to the final. Australia the fastest. And then England, Canada, Scotland, Wales, South Africa, Singapore lane 1 and Northern Ireland lane 8.
Like the women's race in the men's 4x100 metre relay, Australia were again favourites, but with strong teams named, both South Africa and England could cause an upset in Heat 2.
McAvoy swimming the last leg for Australia, Disney May for England. It's still England in front, so Disney May is going to have the advantage of a lead of 0.6 of a second. England from Australia and then South Africa. That's the way the placings are. We'll keep an eye on the clock. Of course, Scotland recording 3:42.01, finishing 4th in the previous heat. Wales 3:41.58. Interesting to see what the times will be for qualifying for the final. England, Australia, no doubt about them going through. Nor the South Africans, as the race is on for home. It's between England and Australia. McAvoy of Australia, Disney May of England, Jimmy of South Africa, and McAvoy gets in front. He extends the lead to about half a length, make it a full length now. Strong final leg by McAvoy of Australia, and the Australians take it out from England and South Africa. So Australia the fastest qualifier into the final, then Canada, England, New Zealand, South Africa, Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland.